The top trending headline on X today reads, Birmingham residents defy council in fiery flag rebellion. Yes, and the MSM are finally starting to cover it as well. It only takes them a week, just 7 full days to catch up with everybody else. And the BBC covered it as well, roundabouts graffitied with St George flags. At least 6 mini roundabouts in Birmingham have been graffitied with red crosses to look like St George's flags. And Turning Point UK made an excellent point about it. Birmingham Council can't collect bins or fill in potholes, but they can organise cleaning our national flag off roundabouts within 24 hours of it being painted on. Traitors. And they did indeed blast into action instantly. There's the footage of them hard at work cleaning the roundabouts. Funny that, isn't it? Tell the local council in Birmingham that there's a 10-year-old getting rogered like a copper's radio above a kebab shop, and they won't do anything about it. They'll turn a blind eye to it for 30 years, but paint an England flag on a roundabout in England, and they'll be there faster than Greece weasel shit. Which brings me to an excellent point. I did steal this, it's not an original idea, but someone posted this on Twitter in response. It's a work of genius if you ask me. All we have to do is paint the St George's cross inside potholes and the council will fix them within 24 hours. So, as myself and many other commentators have been saying, let's keep at it. Paint them, hang them, put them wherever you can. And if you're in Birmingham, the added bonus is going to be, by the end of next week, your roads are going to be smoother than a baby's arse. Right then, as you might imagine, there's loads of class material. They love giving me material, the lunatics that run the world, don't they? There's loads of good stuff today that we can all have a good chuckle at. Namely, the fact that they've finally caught up with the general public and now the typical talking heads in the media start to talk about the issue that we've been talking about, well, not just for the last week, for about the last 10 years. It's been noted many, many times that something's gone seriously wrong if you can't fly your own flag in your own country without a bunch of deranged, jabbering commies making out as if it's a hate crime, which in fact we'll lead with that one because it is a great example of one of them doing a hard reset. When asked about the fact that if it's super racist to just fly your own country's flag, why do you never see anybody with a bit of a tan complaining on any of these counter-protests?
So you're here standing up to racism?
Yes, I'd say that's what we're doing. I think these people are far right. They are targeting people because of the countries they come from and because of the colour of their skin. They're hateful bigots, and yeah, we're here to stand against them.
So you said that they hate people because of the colour of their skin. How come the people with different skin colours are not here? Because I've noticed that a lot of people from the left, they stand up to racism and they do a lot of racism protests, but we've never seen any ethnic minorities holding up these stand up to racism signs. So if racism was such a serious issue, don't you think we would see more ethnic minorities here?
I'm not sure why that's the case.
Just be nice. I'm finding it.
I think we have a fairly small counter-protest.
I think maybe because racism is not that much of a serious issue in the country.
I think the fact that these people exist sort of demonstrates that it is a serious issue because...
The best part of that one is he says that they exist. As I've said, anyone who pays attention, they want rid of you. Why do you think you end up in a gulag when people like this are in charge? They want rid of you. It's like, oh, how dare these people exist? If it was down to people like him, your entire family and everyone you know would be ground down into paste and fed to prisoners. Well, I say prisoners, people that disagree politely with communists. Yeah, you'd be turned into a protein-rich gruel and fed to the people that are fit enough to work the salt mines. These people are absolutely deranged. How can flying your country's flag be hateful? How? I've still never heard anyone mention race. The problem is illegal immigration, unending tides of third world men diddling your kids, crime and punishment, the total vanishing of English culture because they've been speedrunning this experiment. Nobody was complaining that loudly in 1985 when we had a normal immigration policy where only, 20,000 people a year used to move in. This bloke's completely off his box. I'm not even going to deign to pretend that I should be using a different terminology. to discuss the people in the video. That's another thing that annoys me. And I've never had a problem with the LGBT community, but at least in 1985, there was quality control. If you wanted to live your life as a woman, you'd actually put some effort in. They used to put a lot of effort in, didn't they? In the 80s. They'd always like shave the legs and have a nice blouse on and have big eyelashes and do the makeup properly. It wasn't just Popeye with a wig on. This is ridiculous. Anyway, moving on. Oh, this one will be brilliant. Let's listen to Narinda. I love listening to Narinda. She is a rich vein of comedy gold, this one. I feel as if the term thick as dehydrated whale spunk was invented for Narinda. So we've got to thank for that one at least.
To the flags, the ongoing St George flag row. A campaign called Operation Raise the Colours has put hundreds of flags on lampposts and telegraph poles across the country. Now, local councils are taking the flags down on safety grounds, and they've been accused of double standards after...
Safety grounds. Safety. This is how thick they think you are. Yeah, the aforementioned whale spunk. They've been flying Palestinian and Pakistani flags everywhere. I'm sick of seeing them. Millions and millions of them everywhere you look. But as soon as you put a St George cross up, ooh, it's a safety issue. Is it? What, are they more flammable than Palestine flags, are they? What's the explanation behind that one? Plus, I'm pretty sure I saw a 10-year-old girl being gagged and bound with a Palestinian flag above a kebab shop in Luton. So I'd argue that the England flag's slightly more safe. But what do I know?
Allowing Palestinian flags to be flown in the months after the war broke out in Gaza. Now, the Prime Minister's spokesman said he hasn't commented on specific councils, but said the Keir Starmer was a strong supporter of putting up English flags because patriotism was always important. Narinda, you've waded into the flag row
as well
here. So what Keir Starmer...
Had a busy week.
Yeah, you've been very busy. What Keir Starmer has been saying is of course he encourages people to put up flags. Number 10 have clarified that he's not saying that people should be putting up flags on lampposts, and in public areas and attaching them to sort of...
And what he's actually saying is that that Downing Street put up when there's a match, a football match, and the country celebrating. And no one ever has a problem when Lionesses are playing, or England, or Team GB.
I love how she said Lionesses first. Like women's football is the most important sport in the country. She's just a psycho.
We all want the flags and we will feel very proud. No one is saying that you can't put your flag up because, you feel proud of your country during those events. The problem here is, and everyone's conflating the issue, this raising of the colours is led by a group of people, men, proud Englishmen of their identity. I find it a little bit sinister, especially with what's going on in the country right now with the asylum seeker protest, the race riots last summer, and these people are often draped in these flags. And these...
Right, so the race riots last summer was a perfectly human response to a Rwandan stabbing little girls in the face. It was the worst atrocity ever committed on English soil by a foreigner, definitely in my lifetime. And if seeing 8-year-old girls getting stabbed to death doesn't turn your stomach and make you very, very, very angry, you are an emotional house brick. Jacob Rees-Mogg looks passionate and fiery compared to you if you didn't get pissed off seeing the photos of them dead kids. Right? So these, like I said, these people are mental ideologues who don't live in the real world. Narinda, first of all, she's got loads of money for her makeup and a dress, but she still hasn't got a quarter to go downtown and have a rat gnaw that thing off her face. So thanks, Uncle Buck, for that line. And thirdly, and perhaps most importantly, this flag protest didn't come from nowhere, did it, Narinda? You know where it started. You're just a liar. Same as you went, oh yeah, everyone wants to support the Lionesses. Like, that's the biggest sporting event in British history. It was caused, as well you know, by the staggering hypocrisy being displayed by the state, whereby British coppers were filmed partying with the local gangs of fighting-age male Puma trackies. Because have you noticed this? Narinda and them, they love going on about men. Oh, it's always men. How many birds are in this crowd here? How many? Englishmen actually treat their wives and girlfriends with a modicum of respect. This lot, they don't let them leave the house. That's why there isn't any birds there. They're chained to the sink. If they complain about it, they get filled in. Anyway, I'm going off on a tangent. That's what caused it. The hypocrisy. Here's the coppers dancing with big gangs of blokes celebrating Pakistani Independence Day. I love their music. I find it funny that some of my followers slag off Oasis. Oasis? What would you rather do? Listen to Oasis or that? Bangra? That's not music. No. It's a bloke in Lahore banging two bin lids together while shrieking. They also lit up Birmingham Library, as you remember, in the Pakistan flag colours, the entire library in green and white. And in multiple places, this is a different video from the last one I used, flew the Pakistani flag, hoisted it loud and proud in English streets all over the place. Not just outside the town centre, but in little parks up and down the country. Yeah, there we go, as you see. So that's why people are hoisting flags up, you lying sack of rats. It's not bigotry, it's not hateful, it's in response to an unending deluge of incidents. Judges treating Pakistanis with kid gloves for awful crimes while locking up you for complaining on Twitter. Seas of Pakistani and Palestine flags being flown all across the UK with impunity. Endless, unending hypocrisy from the scum that lords it over you. That's why people are flying England flags, Narinda. But you knew that anyway. I mean, you're thick as shit, but you knew that much. This is good as well. Peter Hitchens responded to one in his typical miserable way. Just another bit of footage of people taking down England flags wherever they can find them. The council. Yeah, ridiculous. Hitch said, people still haven't grasped it. There's already been a revolution. It isn't Britain anymore and it hasn't been for decades. Why did it take you so long to notice? Why did you vote for it when you had the chance not to? Well, there is the $1 million question. Sorry, the £1 million question. Yeah, bless him. Peter, he's a miserable bastard, but he's always right. What's funny is, you know for a fact the British government will take the exact wrong stance on this as well, don't you? Which is what I said here. Carl Benjamin was arguing with someone about the flag that they were flying, the British flag, the English flag, whatever. I made this point. England flag, British flag, Welsh flag, put them all up. Put them all up. Arguing about the nuances of the British Isles is a luxury we can no longer afford. Keep going until the regime, morons that they are, doesn't tell the councils to stop taking them down. No. You know what they'll do. If they had any brains, they'd tell the councils to stop taking them down. But they haven't got any brains, so what they're going to end up doing, if we keep at it, is they're going to end up telling you that you can't fly your own flag in your own country. And that is when the powder keg goes off, because if the killing of children and the 100,000 groomed girls that the government turned a blind eye to didn't do it, I think something as blatantly ludicrous, self-evidently ridiculous as banning you from flying your own country's flag while there's a sea of Palestinian and Pakistani ones up outside town halls and council offices all across the country. I think that might just be the final straw. It's almost like a very English start to a revolution, isn't it? Something as tepid as flags, when we've had the ignominy of abused children and murdered kids. It'd be ironic if simply getting rid of flags is the straw that breaks the camel's back. But anyway, we'll finish on one last one that made me laugh because it's so preposterous, and it's from my favourite, James O'Baconface at LBC, London's biggest choppers. Listen to this one. The level of self-delusion here is off the charts.
To be so completely at odds with normality that we don't currently have the tools to address it. What do you do to someone who insists that they are living in a state of mortal peril when all of the evidence is that the people they're lining up alongside outside a hotel pose a much greater harm to coin a phrase, to our women and children than the people in the hotel do?
Did you get that? Did you get all that? When all of the evidence is that the people lining up alongside and outside a hotel pose a much greater harm, to coin a phrase, to our women and children than the people in the hotel do. All of the evidence, much greater harm. What? Are you telling me, James, that London Bridge, Borough Market, I'll just reel off a load of things where I can remember women and girls getting harmed from recent years, right? It'd be London Bridge, 7-7, Borough Market, the Manchester Evening News Arena bombing, Southport atrocity, 100,000 plus diddled girls by swarthy foreign men. The list is unending. And he said, all the evidence suggests that the real problem is plumbers from Slough. Yeah, course it is, James. I could drink 2 litres of whiskey, get battered round the head for 20 minutes with an iron bar by a heavyweight boxer, have a stroke and then spend 6 months on life support with a tube up my arse, and I'd still have more logical comprehension than James O'Baconface. That is the dumbest thing I've ever heard. All of the evidence suggests the crime rate for some of these groups of swarthy foreign diddlers is about 250 times higher than it is amongst the native-born population. And the cherry on top is merely the kinetic events like Southport. So no, James, that is the exact opposite of reality, and you are a delusional maniac, right? Easy. However, that's me for the day. As I said, I'm right behind the flag protest. Buy more flags, put more flags up. Eventually, they will trust me on this. The people that run the UK really are that thick. Eventually, they'll ban the English flags. That I'm telling you. The logical thing to do would be to tell the councils to stop taking them down, but they aren't logical. They're as thick as a doctor's sandwich. They're as thick as quick drying cement. They don't know anything. Every single opportunity they have to do something sensible, get an easy win, they do the opposite. It's unbelievable, but that's what they do. So keep flying them, keep putting them out, and then I'm telling you, they'll ban flying the English flag in public places, and then we might get to the glorious conclusion of Tony Blair's 30-year experiment in making me miserable. Okay? Let me know what you think in the comments. So if you disagree, you think it's pointless, might as well just fly a Palestine flag instead. You know, you can drive through the middle of London with them, with a tannoy, shouting about surprise sexing everybody's wives and daughters, and you don't get in trouble for it. You do remember that one, don't you? This one, this didn't like slip your mind, did it? The massive convoy of Palestine flag vehicles with flags all over them, flying them and sprayed on them, chanting surprise sex people's daughters, and nobody got charged for it. You do remember that one, don't you? Could I use this one as evidence for James O'Brien? The bloke in the Palestine car, the Pally-mobile, with the Pally flag and the tannoys shouting, yes, we are going to surprise sex the children. Is that some evidence that suggests a bricklayer or a window cleaner from South Shields is more likely to be dangerous to your kids? Because I'd love to know, James. Enlighten me. Anyway, I'm done for the day. Let me know what you think in the comments. Thanks for tuning in. See you all tomorrow. Toodle pip. Cheers.